this is a really fascinating, like I was talking about earlier, split in the coalition. Let's put this up there on the screen. It is not an accident that Mike Pence, the moment after this decision went ahead and came out, said that he wants to call for a national abortion ban. Former Vice President, several other Republicans, not just praising the end of Roe, but signaling the major plan. He said, quote, "Today life won by overturning Roe versus Wade. The Supreme Court has given the American people a new beginning." He went on to declare Roe has been consigned to the ash heap of history. A new arena in the cause of life has emerged. It is incumbent on all who cherish the sanctity of life to resolve that we will take the defense of the unborn and support for women in crisis to every state in America. Having been given a second, we must not rest and must not relent until the sanctity of life is restored to the center of American law in every state in the land. Translation, that is a national abortion ban. And as I said, I will save some of this for the monologue, but a tiny preview, that currently polls at an all-time low of 13%. Some 87% of Americans are supportive of abortion in some form, in some cases. So not in the Roe versus Wade architecture. The Dobbs decision, the 15 weeks, which is broadly, fits with the contours of where European abortion laws stand, is actually basically dead center for, I'm talking a vast majority of the public. Not just the majority of the public, but like the vast 87%, some people in the United States. So if you consider just how out of step with public opinion is, that is what the real next battle is going to be. Let's throw this up there on the screen too, from the Times, which did a decent job here of summarizing how these states, specifically the 13 different states that have Roe trigger laws to ban abortion in the immediate wake of any Supreme Court action, they also point to, as you were talking about, the underlying efforts in state legislatures all across the country in order to reach even further. So the major battlegrounds are now going to be things like abortion pills in the mail to people who want them, the ability to have interstate travel. That actually came up in the Roe decision. Justice Kavanaugh saying he's like, I do not support any ban on interstate, but that is not part of the actual decision. So this all is going to get litigated to high hell. But what I talked about previously in terms of the era defining and creating new choices is like, look, you have a lot of evangelicals in like 6 states in the South, and they're frankly gonna do some crazy shit. I mean, we're already talking here about, I already saw this morning, which is that Yesili Vega, who's the Republican nominee running against Abigail Spanberger, downplayed the possibility of becoming pregnant as a result of rape when asked about her stance on abortion at a campaign trail. Look, she probably didn't have a chance.
That's my district now. I'm now in that district, Abigail Spanberger.
You better vote and you better donate to the former CIA op. Literally, she used to work in the CIA.
Yeah,
anyway,
true.
My point that I'm making is now you're going to have this all over the country. And just like defund the police, even if you don't support it, you're going to have to clarify your position. That's kind of why I want to return to what you were saying earlier. I agree that the third stool, the evangelical stool, is going to remain, but they're not united on the goal anymore.
Right.
Like, here's the truth. Most elite Republicans are liberals. They do not, like socially, they don't support a nationwide abortion ban. They barely were on board with overturning Roe versus Wade. So to have to be in the same coalition as the people who literally want to outlaw abortion, that's going to be, I think, difficult to swallow, not just for elites, but for voters. I mean, we're about to talk about this with Trump, but there are a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, 1/3, in fact, in 2016, who are pro-choice. So what are they going to do when it comes to if that is significantly on the ballot? Second, every Republican president from here on out has got a tough as hell time. So you have to try and satisfy. You can't just promise evangelicals, yeah, we're going to overturn Roe. Now they're going to be like, no, you need to put a vote on the floor and sign an executive action that bans this as much as possible. Well, guess what? Most people don't agree with that. So it's going to be hard, to the extent that you can already win in the Electoral College, you're going to have even more of a trouble winning, I think, or at least governing in that form without some sort of major popular backlash, especially in some of the states that you can point to that are on the edge. I mean, Pennsylvania, yes, they have some Catholics there, but last time I checked, it's a legitimate 50-50 state. Michigan, same thing. I actually think the industrial Midwest might be easier. The Sun Belt, people forget this. There's quite a bit of suburban liberals who live in Arizona. They're the ones who delivered Biden that state. They're not necessarily on board. Or suburban-ish voters who are like moderate, kind of. Same in Georgia, the Atlanta suburbs, Nevada, same thing, around Las Vegas. People were looking at that as a pickup. New Hampshire is another one. I mean, many of these states, which are right on the edge, which Republicans would have to flip whip in order to keep some sort of advantage in the Electoral College and the changing map, specifically Trump, this is going to be difficult to push because you have the overwhelming amount of energy from this previously beloved part of the coalition that had a singular goal, which now has divergent political wishes from the rest. So I do think this will change Republican politics now for all time.
The decision, too, has actually shifted the country more into the pro-choice camp.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Pro-choice
That's
identification is near all-time highs, and it's very generational. The younger you get, the more pro-choice you are. The number of people who support abortion in all or most circumstances has gone up, even though, which is unusual because since the decision, those numbers have been pretty static. And so the fact that you have a significant shift in favor of the pro-choice position is notable. And to underscore your point here, Saagar, I'll give you two perfect examples. As I said before, Ron DeSantis in Florida, they already passed something that was
a 15-week
pretty
ban. Yeah, that's right.
out there, 15-week ban. Which already went beyond, what Roe said was permissible. That was basically the debate at the court over Dobbs. So he already put that in. Well, now he's under pressure to go 6 weeks. Okay, how's that going to impact his ability to win a national election? I'll give you another example. Glenn Youngkin in Virginia. Virginia, of course, had trended blue. Biden won it by what, like 9-10 points?
Yes, that's right.
They had all blue.
And he only won by 2.
Democratic, statewide elected officials. Well, Glenn Youngkin, he got pressed on abortion on the campaign trail, but he really just kind of avoided the issue. Well, now, the minute that this decision came down, he's out there saying, hey, we want to do a 15-week abortion ban. If this had been the live issue when he was running for governor, I don't think he wins in Virginia. Yeah, I don't think that he ends up winning in Virginia.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, because, instead of having the conversation about schools and that, the cultural debate was all around that, and the Northern Virginia suburbs, remember, that was the big shift towards Glenn Youngkin. Do those women vote for Glenn Youngkin when the overturning of Roe and how far Virginia is going to go in that regard is the live issue? I don't think so. So you can see the way that this already makes things very difficult. When it comes to abortion, even though you have had more people move into the camp of legal in all or most circumstances, most Americans are kind of mixed. It's a complicated moral issue. I really do understand that. I get that. And so the party that is winning on this issue is going to be the party that seems less extreme. With the overturning of Roe, the focus of this debate is no longer going to be on these edge cases that are uncomfortable for Democrats, partial birth abortion, late-term abortion, that sort of stuff. It's going to be on on the radical fringe, bleeding edge of pushing for DAs to prosecute people who are helping women travel across state lines, going after corporations that are, as part of their benefit package, providing the money for their employees to travel across state lines if abortion is illegal in their states, cracking down on abortion pills, pushing the nationwide ban on abortion, going from 15 weeks to 6 weeks. At 6 weeks, most women don't even know that they're pregnant yet. It really is. So that's where the debate is going to be now. And those things are very unpopular, very hard to defend. As I said before, there's been a lot of conversation about just how unpopular defund the police as a slogan is. No doubt about it. This stuff is even less popular. So, good luck defending it. And again, this group is very organized, very determined. They are energized. And so they are going to be putting a lot of pressure on these Republicans to follow them down increasingly, extreme pathways that lead them further and further out of step with the American public. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.